morning, I'm Keisha Butts with a CTV News update. A panel tasked with making recommendations for post-pandemic life in the region releases the first of 3 reports. The Prince George's Forward Task Force is calling on the county to create a more digitized system of government. It also suggests revamping telework policies, as the local government could face a 40% drop in its workforce due to illness and quarantining. The task force also has several recommendations regarding small businesses.
Been thinking about ideas that would increase and promote visibility and exposure of county businesses as they reopen. And specifically, we could see that our restaurants and our small retail were going to be some of the most vulnerable. And so that's why you see in the Action Today items the Buy PGC campaign. We were thinking about ideas that would improve access to financing and credit for small businesses. So that's why you see an action item related to expanding technical assistance. And we've actually already launched a piece of this about a month ago, the Emerge Stronger program, which is focused on increasing access for county-based small and minority businesses.
The first report was released yesterday. 38 of 47 recommendations have already been accepted by County Executive Angela Osserbrooks. The national COVID death toll is now more than 210,000. Here in Maryland, it's approaching 3,900. Meantime, the state health department today reports 413 new COVID cases and 6 deaths. However, the testing positivity rate remains below 3%. A new law that ends workplace discrimination for people wearing natural hair or protective hairstyles went into effect in Maryland. It's known as the CRAN Act. The law expands the state's legal definition of race to include natural and protective hairstyles. It also allows people who believe they have been denied work opportunities to bring a claim to the Maryland Commission of Civil Rights. The law was sponsored by Delegate Stephanie Smith from Baltimore City.
We've learned about the types of discrimination that our ancestors have experienced, and it was pretty direct. People were being told, because you're Black, you will not have this loan, this job, what have you. But the days of people expressing kind of the desire in that direct way are quite over. In many ways, discrimination of hair is often a proxy for racial discrimination in ways that we have come to know and understand it, particularly because many of these hairstyles are almost uniformly or traditionally worn by people of color. So we know that hate just evolves. It doesn't necessarily go away, which means that our laws have to keep up with the ways that it's manifested and the ways that it impedes people's ability to live their lives.
Maryland joins 6 other states, including California and New York, in prohibiting discrimination based on natural hairstyles. If you haven't filled out your 2020 census form, you still have more time. The Census Bureau has announced that self-response and field operations will continue through October 31st. As of this past weekend, Maryland ranked 9th in the nation in self-response rates, with 70.9% of all Maryland households filling out the form. 28.8% of households have been counted by census takers. You'll recall the Trump administration tried to cut the deadline to October 5th. But a judge overturned that effort. The deadline again is October 31st. Despite opposition from neighbors, it looks like Amazon is coming to Prince George's County. The county council voted 10-1 yesterday to allow Amazon to build a warehouse and distribution facility in Upper Marlboro. The online retailer plans to change an existing building and expand the parking and loading area located near Queens Court and Prince George's Boulevard. Opponents say while the area is zoned for warehouses, they say Amazon's site would be more like a transfer facility. The site would be a last-mile delivery station where large trucks bring items in and Amazon van drivers make the final delivery. As the region grapples with the pandemic, there is some good news. According to a Metropolitan Council of Governments report, our region experienced the cleanest air this summer since COG began measuring pollution levels in our area. Our region recorded just 2 days of unhealthy code orange air quality in all of 2020 and 0 days of the more serious code red air quality. In 2019, by comparison, the region recorded 10 code orange days caused by ozone pollution.
It's been caused by two main factors. One, we've had less activity, such as driving and electricity use because of the COVID-19. And two, the weather has been cooperative this year. And we've had, aside from July, which was hot, a little bit cooler and a little bit wetter of a summer.
Officials say the trends are also the result of more than a decade of coordinated efforts to reduce emissions from power plants and vehicles. As Election Day draws near, mayors across the county are urging residents to vote early. Members of the Mayors Association for Prince George's County plan to place their ballots in a drop box at the elections office in Largo this Saturday. They're publicizing their plans to encourage residents to vote. More than a dozen mayors plan to participate. Police are investigating a homicide in Lanham last night. Officers were called to the 5600 block of Duchesne Drive around 11:40 p.m. When officers arrived, they found an adult male suffering from gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact police. An estimated 29% of women in the U.S. have experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking by a partner, according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Now, a local nonprofit is helping survivors by opening a new boutique. The shop is called Grace Haven. It opened this past weekend. Women survivors can receive free clothes, shoes, jewelry, and even baby supplies. The two founders, who are both victims of domestic violence, say they hope this boutique can provide a safe space for survivors.
You don't think about grabbing pocketbooks, shoes, clothes. You just grab yourself and your baby. So when they get to us, which is the Haven, Grace Haven boutique, we calm them down.
I love to coordinate. I love to match, and it does make me feel good. It was part of my massing the pain.
For more information, email movingforjesus@mail.com. A scientist at the National Institutes of Health wins the Nobel Prize for Medicine, along with two others. 85-year-old Harvey Alter worked for decades at NIH and continues to remain active there. He won the prize alongside fellow American Charles Rice and British-born scientist Michael Houghton for their work on hepatitis C, an illness that plagues more than 70 million worldwide and kills over 400,000 annually. The Nobel Committee says for the first time in history, the disease can now be cured, raising hopes of eradicating the virus from the world. Need to get your school-age children vaccinated? Prince George's County Public Schools is offering free immunizations at several high schools through November. They're being offered at Bladensburg, Fairmont Heights, Northwestern, and Oxon Hill High Schools on various dates. You will need to register to schedule an appointment. For more details about when and where the immunizations are being offered, visit vaccineconsent.com/clinic/search. The Prince George's County Memorial Library System is hosting classes to encourage older adults and Spanish-speaking community to use online banking. The library system is teaming up with the Capital One Foundation for the two-session series called Ready, Set, Bank for Adults. Participants will learn basic digital banking skills, how to avoid scams, and online money management. Anyone who completes the series will receive a $50 gift card. The class for seniors starts tomorrow morning at 11, and a Spanish bilingual class will be held at 6 p.m.
We know that, especially for older adults, they're very concerned about online scams, and they should be. And so getting information about how to protect yourself and how to protect your finances is really important. And so we want to empower people with that information.
The library system is also hosting the session on the 14th. To register, email Shelly O'Brien at shelly.o'brien@pgcmls.info. Maryland State Parks set a new attendance record with more than 17 million visitors in 2020 so far. The previous record was set in 2019 with just under 15 million visitors. Peak season was in July when state parks attracted 3.4 million people. There has been a significant uptick in attendance across the board. Various parks have had to close throughout the season due to large crowds. Maximum capacity has reached a record 260 times so far in 2020. Wssc lifts its recreational water health advisory for the Triadelphia Reservoir. The advisory was issued September 17th due to high levels of blue-green algae. The agency says recreational users can safely resume allowable activities while practicing physical distancing for added safety. For up-to-date information on watershed activities, call the Wssc hotline at 301-206-4FUN. Washington football team coach Ron Rivera will be undergoing treatments for another 3 weeks, yet he plans to continue coaching. Rivera says he's getting great support from players and staff alike. Washington so far has a disappointing 1-3 record.
I'm very fortunate. I really am. I mean, we have a good support system here, you know, with everybody in place in terms of, I got coaches, I got players, we got trainers. And as I go through this, you know, it's not all on me. And that's the thing that really helps me as far as the organization's concerned.
For him to come out and still, you know, coach us through it, give us speeches, and, you know, be here to support us and coach us through these games, it means a lot, and it shows what kind of man he is.
You know, last week really kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I was kind of expecting it, but I didn't realize just how hard sometimes it can get you, and it got me pretty good. You know, and it speaks to the courage of a lot of folks that have gone through this.
It means a lot, man, just to see him fighting, you know, not even just today, but seeing him on Wednesdays, on Thursdays, on Fridays, just seeing him fight, you know, it motivates all of us to go out there, keep on fighting and never quitting.
It's just having ownership with your teammates and the rest of the guys in the building to take up for the, you know, whatever there's a lack of with coach as far as him taking care of himself. And, you know, we all support him, and he's our head coach and we trust in him.
It's hard because as a coach, you want to be there every day. And that's the disappointing part for me, is I'm not there for the guys. My job is to manage, to get these guys prepared and get them ready to play and share the message.
It's hard to watch him struggle, hard to watch him you know, have to do chemo and then come in and bring a whole bunch of energy for practice and still coach. But he loves it, and we're going to stand behind him and try to make his job as easy as possible.
I'm really just going to have to learn to listen to my body, listen to what how I feel, and listen to the doctors.
And that wraps up our CTV News Update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. Have a good night.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
I am what child hunger looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to a sleepover so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch so my friends won't know I don't have anything to eat. I am a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school just because I'm hungry. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.